Hey, this is Sam. Welcome to BNS Spot Movies. There's a lot of movies out there that have really been taken from the backs of dusty old video stores and released by labels like Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, TerraVision, and we have great versions of them today. But there's some that have never come back out, and one of those is 1983's Scarab, which only came out in the UK and Spain, as far as I know, in theaters, and went straight to video in the US.
Evil plotted by a mad sorcerer, bizarre beyond imagination. Scarab.
Time has come to extend our shadows and bring back the Dark Ages. We're going to save mankind before these mindless imbeciles destroy it with an atom bomb.
His is the power to bring forth the evil that will threaten the whole world. The evil of an ancient Egyptian god whose symbol is the Scarab.
Murder by remote control. Using the Scarab as the transmitter.
Very smart.
You're expecting to believe it?
You are the reporter.
A reporter learns too much and is busted headlong into a terrifying adventure when he pursues the secret of the Scarab. A horror spectacular starring Rip Torn, Robert Ginty, and Christina Hatchell. Scarab.
It's escaped being re-released. It starts with Rip Torn, yes, the Oscar and Emmy-nominated actor from The Larry Sanders Show, and, of course, Freddy Got Fingered, screaming in Egyptian at a bug at the top of his lungs before transforming from a Nazi scientist who has somehow escaped war crimes before becoming the Egyptian god Khafra, a scarab-faced representation of the rising or morning sun. Sure, he represents creation and the renewal of life, but isn't Lucifer also the light bringer? Meanwhile, in a completely different movie, Murphy, played by Robert Ginty, is getting decimated in a bar before he walks into an ambassador's house and cucks him. Then he gets arrested. Then, in the third movie, we watch a politician fencing with his granddaughter before one of his servants places a scarab on him and he kills himself. As if this barrage of strangeness hasn't made you disoriented, we get back to Robert Ginty, who watches another politician kill himself with a gun after another scarab is put on him, and then a nun named Elena, who is Christina S. Pasquale, who played a nightclub singer, hanging out with gay nuns in Dark Habits, Pedro Almodovar's movie the same year, runs away before she reveals that she is the daughter of the Nazi scientist Egyptian god played by Rip Torn. Also, she's psychic. This movie has it all, and by that I mean it has multiple movies within one movie. The first movie, as I said, is about Rip Torn dressed as a bird, bug, human god who has long rituals of women dancing near noon when he isn't making love to said women who transform into cows, at which point he spits milk into their faces. He also transforms outfit throughout the film, becoming the scuzzy direct-to-video version of Serpentor by the end of the proceedings. The other movie has just has Robert Ginty strolling around, getting wasted, having sex with women, and then using an axe to battle hooded bad guys. At some point, the two movies have to come together, and all them witches paint Rip Torn's daughter's bosom with weird squiggly black lines and make her up like Ming's concubine took care of Dale Arden and Flash Gordon. The tagline for this movie was evil, plotted by a mad sorcerer, bizarre beyond imagination. Both of these things are right. It's a little more the latter. This was written by Robert and Steve Charles Jaffe, who are behind Motel Hell. Robert also wrote Night Flyers and Demon Seed, with Stephen Charles directing. Ned Miller and Jim Block, who are behind the vehicle West is West, were also on hand to presumably say things like, guys, this movie makes no sense. Thank Farrah, the brothers Jaffe had the good sense to tell them to just be quiet. You know what I'm looking for in a movie? Half-nude dancers and satanic rituals, people screaming at bugs with microphones, Robert Ginty, and a movie that, despite featuring human sacrifices throughout, ends with the kind of music you'd hear over the end of a failed McLean Stevenson sitcom and not bat an eye. And this is the kind of movie that I drive people nuts talking about it. You should be glad that I first saw this during quarantine, because if parties were still a thing, I would sit down next to you and say, hey, Rip Torn and Robert Ginty were both in the same movie. There aren't enough stars in every parallel reality to properly this movie. I'm just glad that the people that made it were crazy enough to go to Spain and convince people to give them money to make their political conspiracy Scarab Nazi God bug movie. Their balls are as huge as Set's testicles, which of course are healed at the same time as Horus's eye after their cosmic conflict. Yes, that's right. Set's testicles are taken, and that's part of Egyptology. I went to college. Anywho, you can find Scarab. Who knows where you can find it? Nobody can find it. But I really dig it. Hopefully you'll hunt it down. I don't know if it's a good movie. It's a strange movie. And isn't that what we're all about? Hey, you can learn more about all sorts of films at my site, BNS About Movies. You can watch me live every Saturday night, usually at 8 o'clock on Groovy Doom, whether you're on the YouTube channel or on Facebook. You can reach out to me at bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com. On the site itself, bnsaboutmovies.com, you can donate to sponsor this podcast through Ko-fi. You can also rate and tell your friends about the podcast. And hey, who doesn't love crazy Scarab movies about Egyptian gods, right? I mean, who else is doing this on a podcast? Hey, there's my phone. I got to go. Talk to you soon.